This is a story that came out ABC News, April 19th, 2018. And this is just a case of germ warfare. You don't have to be in a group to practice germ warfare. You absolutely can do it individually. We all know when this land was invaded, one of the tools they used was germ warfare. And you also have individuals that know they have conditions that are contagious that can spread to others, and they will use that as a weapon. So that's also germ warfare. So a man was jailed for life after deliberately infecting men with HIV. And this was over in Britain. So I'm going to go ahead and play this video.
Government health officials say scientists have now found the likely cause of the mysterious and deadly disease known as AIDS. Acquired immune deficiency syndrome has killed more than 1,750 people. AIDS is always fatal, and another 2,300 people have it. Finding the cause would be an important and significant first step. Finding a cure, something else again. Here's Bettina Gregory.
Health and Human Services Secretary Margaret Heckler told a packed news conference the American team not only succeeded in identifying the virus which probably causes AIDS, it also developed a process to mass produce it. This means a blood test can be developed within a few months to detect AIDS. First, this could identify victims earlier, and secondly, this could prevent the spread of AIDS by testing blood in blood banks or donors. So far, more than 80 Americans have died after contracting AIDS during a transfusion. While this discovery won't cure the 2,300 identified victims of AIDS, the government says it hopes to develop a vaccine to prevent AIDS and start testing it within 2 years.
So what we have at the moment is not particularly of great benefit to people with the disease right now, that is immediately, but it hopefully will be in a short while.
Dr. Robert Gallo of the National Cancer Institute is the man responsible for the breakthrough. He found AIDS is a type of human cancer virus which he named HTLV3. It invades the cells making up the immune systems of the body. Once inside, they produce the virus in quantity. Then the virus kills the host cell by bursting out of it and heading off to attack other cells. That's why AIDS victims lose their ability to resist disease and infection. Federal officials concede the AIDS epidemic is getting worse. 880 new cases have been reported in the first quarter of this year, more than any time since the disease was discovered in 1981. And scientists concede they still don't know why homosexual men, drug abusers, and Haitians are most likely to get the disease. So victims are naturally uneasy.
You know, if a man thinks that he has 8 months to a year to live, and you tell him that's going to be 2 or 3 years before a vaccine comes out, you know, it doesn't give him a hell of a lot to hold on to.
Recently, a French team said it discovered a similar virus causing AIDS. It may turn out to be the same virus, but the Americans say they're further ahead because so far the French have been unable to produce large quantities of the virus in their lab. This is the key to developing a vaccine to cure AIDS. Bettina Gregory, ABC News, Washington.
Ooh, this world is being deceived.
Sometimes your life...
Y'all, Dr. Robert Gallo is the one that made AIDS in a lab. And you see how they had him in here talking like he was some expert on it. He was the one that created it. You can find the articles on the internet. He is the creator of AIDS. And they had him in here like he was somebody good to have on this subject matter. You know, you see the deception that goes on. This is just unbelievable. When you go back and look at some of these throwback videos, you can see a lot of corrupt people in these videos that really have no business. They should be jailed and not standing there talking in front of a podium. All right, let's get into the article. A British man has been jailed for life for being found guilty of deliberately trying to infect 10 men with HIV. Prosecutors allege that Darrell Rowe, 27, infected 5 men through unprotected sex and attempted to affect several others by intentionally damaging condoms. Rowe, who was diagnosed with HIV in 2015, met men on the gay dating app Grind. Wow. Prosecutors said after having sex with partners, he would message some of the victims saying, "I have HIV, LOL. Oops." Now, you might be asking, why am I doing this video? I'm doing this video because, number one, HIV is on the rise, especially among drug users. A lot of these people are willing to have sex for drugs. A lot of these people are like Daryl here. They will give it to you deliberately and not tell you. Or in his case, he did tell after the fact. So, being that we're in the last days, you're going to see an explosion of diseases, and many of these people are salty. So what they will do is they will take their disease and give it to you just out of evil. You know, they know they are a dying race of people. So they're going to try to sink everybody else around them as well. So germ warfare is going to be heavily used in these last days. It has nothing to do with whether I care about homosexuality or not. It is the nature of what he's doing and the kind of things we are going to see. And our people got to start using our heads and steering clear of people that have no good intentions for us but to harm us. Okay, and that's not going to be just gay people. It's going to be these drug users looking for money for drugs, and they know damn well they got things like hepatitis, they got things like AIDS, and a whole host of different diseases because of their drug use. Okay, so one of Roe's victims testified in a 6-week trial that he felt pressured into having sex with Roe. Another branded him as grotesque and a psychopath. Yeah, but you went out with him. A third victim said Roe had destroyed my life. I would rather he had murdered me than left me to live my life like this. Roe's lawyer pleaded that the judge, he was pleading for a lighter sentence, you know. Henson said the sentence would not be about stigmatizing anyone with HIV, but immense psychological effects Roe caused to his victims. Roe, who was 27, will serve at least 12 years of his sentence in prison. It is the first sentencing of its kind, in the UK, where a person is in prison for grievously bodily harm by intentionally infecting others with HIV. But, you know, there have been cases like this in the past. I remember years ago, there was a case of a guy that was having unprotected sex with multiple women, and he had AIDS. And I think this case was like up in New York back in the 90s. And you know, these things are going to happen. You got women out here that will do that. Don't think because this story is about a man that women won't do these things too. There's women that are infected with AIDS and chlamydia and all kinds of sexually transmitted diseases, and they'll lay down and have sex and won't speak up a word too. So these things happen. So again, we are in the final days. Be careful out here about who you are in contact with. You know, I know a lot of people do the online dating. Just be careful. Just be careful. There's ways you can still check people out. Make sure you do those things. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I will see you on the next video. Peace, family.